Give us a break. Don't try what you're about to see at home.
On this episode of MythBusters, Jamie and Adam get that sinking feeling.
Oh man, oh, that sound is so wrong.
To test the myth that if your vehicle plunges into the drink...
Oh my God, it's coming up under the windshield. Wow, I can feel the pressure.
Are you done, or is there a way to escape?
That is intense!
And meanwhile, in the biggest build of its kind in history...
This is gonna be the biggest piece of paper ever.
Grant, Tori, and Carrie attempt to squash the myth...
Flat as a pancake!
...that it's an impossible task to fold a piece of paper more than 7 times.
So it sounded so much easier on paper.
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage.
Ow, 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 ow.
And Jamie Heineman.
It's almost too exciting.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience.
Cue dramatic music.
Joining them, Carrie Byron.
That's gonna be so cool!
Grant Imahara.
Listen to that baby purr!
And Tori Belleci.
Paramedics are nowhere to be found.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
Underwater car escape. Something tells me this involves a car in the water.
Shockingly, that is true. This is what I've been wanting to do almost since we started doing this show. The myth is that you're in a car, it goes over the side of a bridge or something into the water and it starts to sink. The myth is you will not be able to open that door until the cabin of the car fills up with water. And then you can open the door and escape.
Sounds like you might be kind of close, though.
That's exactly what we're going to find out.
It's the stuff of nightmares and spectacular movie stunts. But this sinking scenario is a real-life life threat. So, if you're in a vehicle that takes a dive into the drink, is it possible to escape, or would a watery grave be your fate?
I think it's pretty obvious what the plan for this one should be.
Yep. We got to get a real car, we got to put it in the water, and get inside it and go down with it.
Really, I've always wanted to be the dude in the car. You got to let me be the dude in the car.
You can be the dude in the car.
Yes!
Dude, better you than me. But before he gets his feet wet, Adam first sets up a small-scale pressure test. He fills a 3-foot-deep cylindrical tank with water. It's an interestingly improvised, rubbery contrivance that makes perfect sense to him.
On the right here is a box which represents my car. And like a car, it will let water in, but slowly. It'll leak out of a lot of the corners and edges. And when you see that happening, hopefully this unit will demonstrate that the pressure's higher here on this drum that's in the open water than it is on this drum that's in the car.
Adam places a small piece of Perspex loosely on the underside of the box that will represent the door of his car.
Ready?
Yep. Each foot the drum is lowered is equivalent to half a PSI of pressure. In the real world, that's a crushing 1,000 to 2,000 pounds of force on a door.
That's the pressure inside the car, that's the pressure of the water outside the car. If you're inside this car, you're trying to open this door, you can't, because the pressure outside is higher than the pressure inside. Pressure differential. It's happening!
The pressure differential occurs because water exerts greater pressure than air. When a vehicle sinks, the water presses on the doors, holding them shut. When the cabin fills with water, the inside pressure becomes the same as the outside, and it's only then its grip is released. After building up and up, the two lines finally meet.
Watch the store.
And release.
There it goes.
To test this theory in a real-life situation, the plan is to suspend a car from a crane. Adam will be the trap driver in front, while Jamie will be in back wearing a rebreather. Then the car will be lowered into the watery depths, with safety divers monitoring the entire operation. Fresh from the classifieds, Jamie has found a classic American sedan with power windows. It runs great.
Never to start again.
Now to pull it apart.
First thing we need to do is remove the engine from the car because any oil, any fluids that would foul the water is going to be a problem. What's the matter? Haven't you ever seen somebody work on a car with an axe?
His opponent has been wounded and is starting to weaken.
It's coming.
After a protracted battle, the engine finally succumbs. Jamie is victorious, but the thrill of the kill has gone to his head.
I had to remove the engine from the car to clean the car up, so I did.
Well, there's your problem.
Now that the engine is out, he needs to add its equivalent weight back in.
This thing right here is our engine surrogate. We need to simulate the amount of weight that it represented because the car might settle into the water differently if we don't.
700 pounds of weight is lowered into the cavity.
This is Jamie's new hydrogen fuel cell engine.
And with the weighting checked off, it's time to make like Keith Moon and drive the car into the pool. To conduct their test, Campo Lindo High School in Morega is kindly letting us use their aquatic center. Go Cougars!
This is a high school diving pool, and this is where we're going to sink our car. It's about 13 feet deep right here, which should be plenty for us to do our test. It's nice and warm. It'll be great.
Aside from his burning enthusiasm, Adam has a burning question for safety diver Sean.
All right, Sean, so I'm going to be in this car. It's going to start filling up with water. I'm going to hold my breath, but when I run out, what's the backup?
Well, the backup is sitting in your passenger seat right there.
That
40
guy.
cubic feet of air waiting for you with 5-foot-long hose. Remember to purge it and breathe normally.
That's already
Get
hooked
you
up.
out of there. It's ready to go.
And Jamie will be sitting here in his rebreather with this standing by in case I need it.
Correct.
Jamie isn't in the back just to look pretty. He's a certified dive master with 30 years of experience and 3,000 dives under his weight belt.
I'm just going to be sitting there relaxing, waiting for Adam to freak out, and then I'll be right there with the regulator.
So as not to skew the test by adding extra air, Jamie will be using a rebreather instead of regular scuba tanks. Rebreathers recycle exhaled breath and therefore don't create bubbles. It's a self-contained unit that's very 007. Adam's starting to lose his cool.
I'm actually a little freaked out because I'm going to be like holding myself up off the dashboard. I'll be my face planted into the windshield in this thing. I didn't take that into account, and it's going to make this a lot more difficult to stay focused and calm. Let's go do it.
The safety divers swim into position. And Jamie has some final sage words of advice.
Adam, I only have one thing to say to you.
Yeah.
Don't pee in the pool. Because I'm in the car there with you.
Time for Adam to get inside for the ride of his life.
You ready?
I'm all set.
So, wearing no scuba gear, 13 feet underwater, does Adam think he'll sink or swim?
I think it's entirely likely I may need oxygen before this test is complete. Okay, get it into gear. Is that a problem?
Next, Adam is flooded with strong emotions.
Oh, man.
And coming up, the team makes a supersized spreadsheet.
It's going to be the biggest piece of paper ever.
Jamie and Adam are testing a myth that if your car swerves off the road and into a body of water, to get out alive, you have to wait until it's completely submerged and full of water before you can open the door.
So did you know last year, AAA estimated 11,000 vehicles went off the road and into the water, and as a result of those accidents, 300 people died.
Holy cow, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I thought it was more like a freak accident.
Now, apparently it's a lot more common than that.
Well, maybe we can help raise awareness a bit as to what these people are facing.
And what better way to raise awareness than to raise themselves in a car into the sky and plunge into a pool?
What the are we doing?
Remember, when Adam goes 13 feet under, he won't be wearing breathing apparatus. The paramedics are on their toes, and Adam has his escape strategy all worked out.
I'm going to try to start opening this door the moment I see the water get above my glass. Now, if the myth is true, I won't be able to open that door until the water level inside the car gets to the same point.
Deep breaths, Adam. Deep breaths. It's way too late to put on the brakes.
I couldn't stop now if I wanted to.
As the water rushes in, Adam is getting that sinking feeling.
Oh, man.
The crane chains go slack, and the car is sinking on its own. The 700-pound fake engine is taking it down nose first, exactly as it would in a real situation.
So the water's up to my butt now. All right. Okay, it's coming past my waist. Now I can start to see under the water. Oh my God, it's coming up under the windshield. Wow, I can feel the pressure. All right, I only have a couple more breaths here.
Adam's never this quiet. So what's going on down there? The water is leaking in from every open crevice in the car, and Adam is now fully under. He holds his breath, tugs on the door, pushes his whole weight against it, but nothing happens. Finally, he can't hold his breath any longer and signals for Jamie to pass him the regulator. When the pressure ultimately equalizes, he opens the door and swims to the surface. But it was too late.
That is intense! No matter how you slice it. I died. Let's just put it that way.
Well, that's put a dampener on things. From the time the water hit Adam's knees to when he surfaced took just 1 minute and 51 seconds. But that's a long time when you're drowning.
The fact is, even though you do go vertical, you don't feel like it because the water's filling the cabin at that point. So you'd be kind of floating. I held my breath, I don't know, for what felt like 30 seconds, trying to push open that door, using my legs, bracing up inside the cab.
Well, you died.
Yeah, I died.
Jamie's passive observer view was a little eerie.
I'm just sitting there watching the guy drown. He's like just going nuts on that door. He's really using up his oxygen. And it didn't take him that long to run out. You don't want to be in a car when it goes down like that. It's scary.
The bottom line is Adam ran out of air before he could open the door.
That myth is confirmed. I could not open that door until the cab seemed to be full of water for a while.
Yeah, you were giving it all you could, and you just weren't able to do anything in it with that door until we started to level out. That's the point that you opened the door.
Yeah.
And that was quite a while.
Differential pressure can be such a downer.
I gotta tell you, I've been wanting to do this since we've been doing this show, and that was still pretty terrifying.
Yeah, sitting there in the back seat watching you drown was kind of unsettling somehow.
If you'd like to watch the entire sequence of me sinking in the car uncut, you can log on to discovery.com/MythBusters.
See it in real time.
But now, let's cut to a new myth.
All right, this myth has been around forever.
Okay, what is it?
You can't fold a piece of paper in half more than 7 times.
I don't believe it. Let's do it.
That's why I brought a piece of paper.
All right, let's see. Show us. All right, that's 1.
This myth is a MythBusters fan site special request. It's a theory that most people first hear in elementary school, and Carrie is finding out it isn't child's play.
Don't break the table. There's 7. Come on, Carrie, one more. One more, you can do it.
Pump it. Giving up yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
8 does. I don't think 8 worked. I think that's 7.
You know, there's got to be a way to fold this piece of paper more than 7 times. Okay, well, let's break this down and figure out what it takes to fold it 8 times more.
I have a feeling you're gonna get math involved again.
Correct, Carrie. It's called exponential growth. Every time you fold a piece of paper in half, it gets twice as small and twice as thick. A piece of paper folded just 7 times quickly multiplies to 128 layers. 8 folds doubles again to 256 layers. And the theory is, this is too thick to bend.
Okay, so the challenge is each of us has 2 hours to take these pieces of paper and see how many times we can fold them. The person that folds them the most wins.
Using standard letter 8.5 by 11 office paper, our first contender, Tori Balachi, steps up.
First, you must massage the paper to get it relaxed so that it'll fold easier. It's 1.
Tori's basic method of folding and rotating is smooth all the way, until he gets to number 7.
This is the tricky one here.
Is he about to wrench this myth open already? The pressure is on to bring it home to 8.
8. Got it. I think we managed to wad it in half 8 times, but look. That's not half. There's 1.
That's not a fold.
Oh, and you cut the paper.
You cut the paper.
Carrie's tactic is to focus on the fold.
My way of tackling this 7 paper fold problem is to hopefully use a little bit of compression, a little bit of steam, and a little bit of sanding to make that last fold, which seems to be the problem, a little bit easier.
A homespun touch might be just what this myth needs. After ironing a perfect crease, she rubs it with fine sandpaper.
It's just gonna be a tiny bit thinner. I'm just thinking maybe just that like microscopic little edge you could give me.
Her idea may just iron out the kinks in this competition.
Hey, when you're done with this, I was wondering if you can come over and iron my newspaper.
But she, too, runs out of steam at 7.
7 times. That's it. This ends up a spit wad.
Meanwhile, Grant has really been pondering this paper puzzle.
Okay, so I think that this is actually a dimensional problem. And here, this is a piece of 20-pound, 8.5 by 11, like, office paper. And it is 3/1000ths of an inch. So, if I make that thinner, theoretically, I should be able to get more folds in the same amount of space. And that's why I have this. This is tracing paper. Technically still paper.
Isn't it a little early in the game to start cheating?
Still paper.
A cheat? Quite the contrary. Grant sees himself as a purist.
No hammer. No clamp. No sanding.
Plus, he has a cunning plan to fold lengthwise repeatedly, then widthwise repeatedly.
Now for the folding in half.
If you fold a piece of paper in alternating directions, it doesn't constrain itself with each fold. So, it's easier to keep folding.
There's number 8.
8!
But someone still doesn't want to concede defeat.
22. 23.
Next, the team finally finished building their broadsheet.
Ooh, look at this ocean of paper.
And Adam learns why you should never go sailing in a car.
Water's getting to the top of the window here.
Grant, Tori, and Carrie are trying to burn a hole in the 7-paper fold myth.
You got something you want to say, Grant?
As a matter of fact, I do. I think it's clear that I won the competition with 8 folds, and not only did I win, I busted the myth.
You know what, though? You got 8 folds, but you changed the method of the folding. The obvious way would be to fold it in half, turn it 90 degrees, and fold it again. Every time we tried to do that, we couldn't get more than 7 folds. I mean, there might be some truth to this myth.
Well, if we use a really big piece of paper, I think there's a possibility that we could get more than 7 folds.
Okay, then let's get the biggest piece of seamless paper we can find and try it again.
All right, then. They roll out the biggest seamless piece of paper they could find, 12.5 by 15 feet. In theory, increasing the paper's dimensions should make it easier to reach the elusive 8-fold goal.
Want to have big biceps? Do this exercise.
For the first couple of folds, the paper is a pushover, but it's shrinking with surprising speed.
It's real small, real fast.
Sure does. So this is 7. We're supposed to get one more fold?
Well, maybe.
Good luck.
But no matter what sick methods of intimidation they try, the paper doesn't break.
I like to use the method, don't you?
The team is all torn up, even using a piece of paper the size of a room, 288 times larger than the letter-size paper. They couldn't crack the 7-fold ceiling. So now what?
This is 6 times thicker than the tracing paper. If we can learn anything from this little exercise, it would be we need to go thinner and we need to go bigger.
Bigger? You got it, Carrie. No one knows space like NASA, and they have plenty of it at an empty airship hangar they've given us clearance to use at Moffett Field. At more than 200 feet high, 1,000 feet long, and 300 feet wide, our crew will really be able to explore the outer reaches of this myth. The plan is to get 17 individual rolls and lay them out side by side. Covering 170 by 220 feet, the team will join them together with double-sided tape. Then they'll use whatever methods necessary to try and fold it into a submission.
Basically, you're going to have to fill this whole area.
Yeah, well, we have 170 feet this way and 220 this way before we get to any equipment. So will that work out for us?
Yeah, it's perfect to scale up an 8.5 by 11 sheet.
This is going to be a long day.
We have a lot of work.
Then let's roll. They position the first roll, give it a push, and they're off.
This is going to be the biggest piece of paper ever.
One down. 16 more to go.
Their first 220 feet of scroll has been successfully unrolled. To secure roll number 2, they need
Double side tape.
inch by inch, they press the sticky stuff along the edge of the paper. Time to truck in roll number 2.
Coming down.
Roll down, tape down. I think we get the concept. Later, will the team's paper fold attempt be all torn up?
Uh-oh, we got a situation.
And
Coming up, we test every survival technique for escaping from a car that you've driven off the bridge.
Give us a break.
Don't try anything you're about to see us do at home.
back at the pool, Jamie and Adam are testing ways to escape a car that's plunged into the drain. They've already discovered that if you wait for the cabin to fill with water so the differential pressure equalizes and releases its grip on the doors, it could be too late. Now, they're going to try out a modified survival technique.
Well, here we are, day 2.
The first maneuver on their cheating death checklist is to try and open the door before the car starts to sink.
I figure for this particular technique to work, you need to do it right the minute you hit the water. If you hesitate, it's all over and you gotta ride it out.
Here we go!
Adam's plan of action is...
I'm just gonna wait until the water gets up to my ankles, and then I'm gonna try and open the door. There we go. Oh man, oh, that sound is so wrong.
The water rushes in.
Okay, I'm starting to see it on the floor, and it's coming up to my ankles. Now I'm gonna try and open the door.
And Adam rushes out.
Surface exit via the door, totally viable. I waited until the water was up to the top of my shoes, and I was still able to push this door open.
The water rises slowly upwards. Next, he's going to wait until it gets to his waist.
Okay, past my shoes, halfway up my shins. All right, now I'm looking at, oh my God, it's at my knees. I'm not gonna be able to open this door. All right, wait.
This one's no pushover. As the water level climbs, so does the amount of pressure. And Adam has to brace himself against the opposite door to force it open.
I was able to do it.
But only just. This time, he's going even higher.
I'm gonna wait until I see water hit the top of this window. Then I'm gonna use all my strength against the opposite door to try and push it open. Dude, I'm gonna have dreams about this tonight. All right, water's getting to the top of the window here. All right, here we go. It's almost at the top, almost there. 3, 2, 1, go.
The differential pressure on the other side of the door has become too strong and holds it shut. Adam gamely pushes back